Hey guys, what's going on? We got me, NYJ, and Dave here. We're going to be doing a rambling video. What I've been up to, I've just been doing a little bit of fishing lately, skill hopping a lot, and that's really about it.
Hello, I'm NYJ. I am doing a pure Alpha Slayer right now, going for pure DMP.
Hey, I'm DMP and gaining some fat DMP right now.
Oh yeah.
So what do you boys been? What's your goals right now?
Right now, I've really been wanting to get top page prayer.
It's closing off.
Yeah, we got one person left, or well, there's like pretty much three slots left, and pretty much one of those is available. And I've been really slacking off lately, but I don't really need to be rushed because there's like really no competition at all for that last slot.
Nah.
Yeah, so I'll pretty much just hang back and then attack it whenever I need to.
Cool.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to get the most total XP possible with like the littlest money involved. So obviously for me that's Slayer. And yeah, I'm passively going for 200 mil Slayer right now. I just got halfway a few days ago, so that was nice to hit.
I saw that. You barrage everything you can, right?
Yeah, I'm barraging a lot right now. I have like 40,000 points right now saved up, so I'm certainly barraging a lot more than usual.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, yeah, I really enjoy like the way I slay. Like I can do melee when I want. And there's a lot of tasks out there that are just 200k plus total XP an hour. Greater demons, for
Yep.
example. So I could do that, or I can do what I'm doing now, which is more like the meta, which is Magic Slayer. So that's the great thing with Slayer. There's just so many things you can do.
I really would like to slay, but you know me, I put it off because of work. I'd rather zero time my melee XP and put Slayer off for later down the line.
And you're gonna be
So,
done all the melees, aren't you? By the time you
yeah,
get the Slayer.
like 6 months from now, I'll be completely out of melee and I'll be doing Slayer long term. I'll just wait. I'll just wait on it. I don't plan to do it anytime soon because I believe that it will be devalued. I know a lot of people don't agree with this opinion, but I feel like the current pace of Slayer will be either doubled or tripled within the next 3 to 5 years. So why should I train it now when I can zero time all my melees and potentially have much more magic dependent Slayer down the line?
Yeah, Slayer is like it's always gonna get devalued because like majority of the player base is always gonna be involved in some kind of combat, and
Yep.
you got all new weapons. Like one thing I'm looking forward to is that the whip has been best in slot ever since release. I think that will eventually change with some kind of like raids update.
Mm, like a better
Yeah,
weapon.
don't forget about the Zaya Diaries too. Like that can be a possibility down the line, and that may really affect the catacombs. So
That's gonna screw
there's
me
certainly a lot
over
of
though.
yeah, there's certainly a lot of interesting options that can happen with Slayer that are just small that can really improve the XP per hour. So who knows, really, at this point.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
don't know. I try to gain as much XP per day as I can. Even if it's not efficient, I gain as much XP as I can per day. So by doing all my nightmare zones zero time, I'm just trying to take advantage of XP daily.
Yeah, that's kind of like the way I've been doing. Although we kind of view melees a little differently, I think the main point is that we go for pure DMP, pure total XP, trying to build a pillow up there. But yeah, for the most part, with the way we do melees, you do it that way, you can get it done with work. Me, I'm doing it so I can get like a 3.5 bill total XP cushion.
Yeah.
But also, I'm keeping in mind mobile. Like I'm trying to be more like outreaching. Like I see mobile coming out pretty soon,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm
What was that
thinking,
today? They
you know,
linked on the Discord today that they
it's project.
postponed that.
I don't. Somebody said they was supposed to come out this year. I really don't know, but
yeah,
they
yeah,
mentioned
it's been really
January.
delayed. Yeah, it's been delayed. But
I'm
anyway, yeah. So I was gonna say that once I'm done the melees, I can just go straight into woodcutting zero time. Like woodcutting will be the new nightmare zone down
oh
the
yeah.
road. That's gonna happen with mobile for sure.
What I
To
Like
really
you're gonna see
want.
a
basically be
lot of
doing
guys
woodcutting
doing
you're inefficient.
redwoods. you're going to see a lot of guys doing redwoods on the phone. That will be the meta. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I've already started on that. I really hope they implement some kind of like some kind of way that you could stay logged in for like or or go to like some kind of lobby where you just click to log in. Oh, it'd be so nice.
That would be very nice. Yeah.
Now, guys, when you like with remote desktop, you're able to close it out. Say you're in Nightmare Zone, you have 20 minutes to keep in combat. Say you're doing Redwood, you have 5 minutes to stay logged in. But you can completely close the app out on your phone, thus saving battery life. With mobile, is it gonna close out your account when you close out the app? Like, is it gonna log you out when you close off the app?
I hope
because
not.
it's gonna drain the shit out of the battery if you can't close it. Like, I don't know I have to work 10 hours a day, so 10 hours out of the day I can't run the app constantly or my phone's gonna be dead.
Yeah, like
well, I know they said they're going to. I know they said you're going to be able to like be logged in and have other stuff running. But I'm not too sure what that's going to be with the like drainage of battery and stuff. I think that's what the beta is for pretty soon. That should be coming out pretty soon. I think it's been delayed. I think a little bit, obviously, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be great for the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's going to bring a new realm of skillers, a whole new breed of people. They're gonna like a lot of people either don't know about how easy it is to do remote desktop, or they're afraid of it, or sketched by whatever it is their reasons. But once they have like a legitimate, legal, I guess you could call it, app, there's gonna be I could say there's probably gonna be at least 10 to 15 hours a week added on to the average efficient skillers accounts.
Yep.
Like that's just a low ball.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
And for the new players, like the meta for new players is going to change too. Like pretty much everything will be zero time for people that only play mobile and that's all they know. So certainly it's going to bring an interesting dynamic to the table.
And I know that they said they wouldn't like target updates towards like mobile people, but I know they will. So I would expect like another NMZ method or a new Redwood method to come out for something in the future, definitely.
There's no way they're not going to cater things to make it easy to use it, because there's going to be thousands of people. Like, I don't care what anybody says, there's going to be thousands and thousands of people using it, if not tens of thousands of people using it. And if they're chopping redwoods, they're not going to want to sit there with their thumbs and have to double click. Like, if anybody's ever used remote desktop before shift drop, how there was, you'd have to use both thumbs, you'd have to click with both thumbs to right click a log, and then you'd have to move your fingers. Well, it's been made easier with shift drop, but at the same time, are you going to be able to just like click the logs in your inventory with something programmed on the application? Or are you going to have sticky keys enabled?
I think they mentioned some kind of toggle where you just toggle on shift drop or toggle it off.
It's going to be like a switch. Yeah, like you can just click it or just use your fingers and bam, there it is. You could drop everything. It's going to be really nice. That's what they said, I think, back in July. They were thinking about that in a prototype back in July, so...
Death won at Wyverns during the Ramble video, by the way. Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, I've realized that, like, on my phone, I've been doing a lot of fishing lately because I AFK quite a bit, and whenever I get out of my chair, I usually, like, try to do it on my phone while I'm eating dinner or whatever. And I noticed, like, I probably drop a full inventory of fish faster on my phone than I do with my mouse. Just like how fast you tap, it's crazy.
Yeah. And mobile is supposed to be smoother too, so like who knows at that point.
Yep. I hope that they integrate like the option to have a mouse, because I don't know about you guys, but when I like NMZ, I usually have like a mouse enabled on Chrome Remote.
Yes.
I always have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I only don't do it when I'm like
think of that.
dropping logs. I mentioned this with like I think Harry and somebody else, and they all said that they use like just tap wherever you click wherever you tap. I've never done it that way.
They do that when they Nightmare Zone?
I think so, yeah.
Fucking legends.
Yeah.
I got my mouse enabled.
I just find that you have to zoom in so much more in order to be like accurately clicking.
Yes, unless you have little tiny fingers.
But yeah, back to what you said about updates, like Jagex being pressured to make updates because of mobile. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Jagex is still a business, so I can definitely see like the upper heads saying, "Hey, look, we're making a lot of money from this. You know, a lot of revenue is being generated. Let's make updates, regardless of what our promise was in the past. Let's just do it, and let's get more people playing." So, at that point, I don't really think it's that bad of a thing, depending on what it is. But yeah, we have to wait and see.
Dude, it's gonna be revolutionary. There's people that play
Oh,
right now
yeah.
who have obligations, obviously, and when they're at their obligations, they're sitting there wishing at different times that they could play. And now that they'll be having mobile, they'll be able to play during their obligations, and it's gonna change things. It's gonna definitely bring the game to a wider audience, and it's gonna be great for the game. Like, it's not all going to be about competition. Like, for us, it's more or less it's going to be about what can we do to get the most EHP added onto our total per week by using it. But for the normal person, they're just going to be happy that they can fish while they're eating dinner or something. Finally, you know what I mean? They're not going to be caring as much about how efficient it is. They're just going to enjoy the fact that they can play the game anywhere at that point. So, you know, it's going to be great for the game, and I'm just hoping it comes within the next couple of months. I'd really like to test it.
Yeah, it's like two of the updates I think I've underestimated the most have been like shift drop, which is one of them. Which when that came out, I didn't care because it was like I'm still going to use my mouse keys to drop anyway because that was my original mentality. And also the mobile, when it first came out, I didn't care at all. I'm like, oh wow, it's just Chrome Remote Desktop again. It's the same thing. But in reality, it's so much more than that. It means a lot more.
I mean, I'm going to test it. And if it's retarded, I'm going to keep using Remote Desktop.
Yeah.
That's basically until they say, oh, like Remote Desktop isn't allowed, which obviously there's nothing sketchy about it. And I hope the people out there, I don't think we may be the first couple of people to really talk openly about the topic right now about remote desktop, but a lot of people have this belief that like, oh, that's bad, that's bannable, it's botting. Like, there's nothing. For what I know, there's nothing wrong for remotely accessing your computer. You're not botting in any way.
Well, I think people saw like a friend's video, for example, where he was getting like crazy fletching rates. I think that's what they think when they think of that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how an irrelevant video can change the mentality of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a powerful tool. Like, without that, I'd be getting like average of like probably 40 to 50 EHP weeks instead of like 60 to 70.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was late to the Nightmare Zone game. Like, I started Nightmare Zone just like half a year ago at most, and it certainly is a big game changer. It's like a quick 1 mil XP a day before I even get home.
Yep.
I brainwashed you into doing it at school too, Rip.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Well, you got to do what you have to do to maximize your total daily. The way I look at this game is a number, and if you zero time all your melee XP, then a person who's behind you has to do 200 mil Slayer and then go and do Nightmare Zone at the computer to catch up to you. And the chances are, with the way things look, a lot of the times these guys are burning out. Not that I'm one to talk. I've been very spotty. I've quit for several months at a time. But the one thing I try to capitalize on is doing as much zero time XP as possible. And Remote Desktop made that possible for me. I got to thank Leafs Nick. You know, rest in peace, Leafs Nick. But I got to thank him for showing me Remote Desktop, and I've taken it to the point that I'm at now. I do probably about 60 hours a week of phone time, and then about 50 hours in game. So it adds. I'm on my phone more than I'm actually playing. I only play about an average of like 50 EHP a week, but on the phone I'm putting in about 60 hours a week of phone time. So it's like 18 hours out of the day, 7 days a week. I'm gaining XP, and it's motivating. Even if it's not efficient, it's just like I'm past the point now that it's efficient to do my Nightmare Zone time, but I don't care. I enjoy padding my total XP monthly. Like, I enjoy an extra 25 mil total XP a month versus being at work not gaining any XP.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before too. Like, you know, when it's so motivating to get home and you already got like what 1 mil total XP for the day before you even start your session.
It's 1.1 mil. I gain 1.1 mil at work.
Yeah, so like that's what I mean. Like that's just so motivating logging in, and compared to before where it's zero, you don't do anything,
Like
then you log in and start your session. So
exactly.
it's a big game changer.
It's personal motivation. Like people
Yeah.
people have this flawed opinion nowadays. In my opinion, it's a flawed opinion. In my opinion, it's a flawed opinion. People think that you have to do things a certain way and that this is right, this is wrong, EHP is EHP. And I understand that it's very cool. It gets your friends to pat you on the back and you can look like the man in the team speak when you're doing efficient things all the time, blah 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 blah. But you have to look at it more like on a more personal level. Like what can you do to get as much out of yourself as a player as possible? What can you do to get as much XP per day, per week, per month as possible? And something like that, like using phone methods, made it able that I'm able to work a full-time job with overtime and pay my bills and still gain XP the whole time. And it motivates me to play more when I get home, because like you said, you get home from work, you're already on a fucking 1 point whatever mil day. Like I just finished hit points, rest in peace, an extra 500k XP a day, but good things come to an end. But
Oh, that cushion's gonna end for me in next month.
yeah, rip.
Rip.
But no, it's
Rip.
just it's nice. Like it motivates me to keep going for ranks, to keep going for overall ranks, and inevitably EHP ranks as well, because I'm gaining a lot of XP every day, and then, like a lot of people, they stop at a certain point because it's not CML efficient. But just what if 2 years from now there's an update and you get an extra 300 EHP for doing an extra 250 hours of strength, for example, or something, because of an update. Like I guess like I've been told that the way I play this game is like a gamble. I'm basically gambling long term, and I've also been told that I'm very short term because I do like Nightmare Zone post efficiency. But Phonescape isn't limited just to Nightmare Zone. You can do Knights with ease. Like I finished 200 mil thieving with phone Knights, and I know a lot of people who do phone Knights. You can do all of thieving very easily with phone Knights.
Yeah.
I know Evan NYJ was like done with thieving way before phone Knights was even a thing, but I know Evan is an avid phone thiever. So
Yeah.
what do
I
you
love
think?
it.
Have you been doing that a lot lately? Have you been keeping
Yeah,
consistent?
it's funny. I've been upgrading. Like last semester in class, I used to NMZ all the time.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded to Redwoods. I was doing Redwoods in class, and now I've upgraded further. I'm doing Thieving in class now. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm getting like I probably fuck up a bit because like I'm not really paying attention, but I get like well over 0.75 EHP an hour just sitting there tapping my phone.
There's nothing better, in my opinion, as a player who people will definitely, there will be people that watch this video that will definitely say, oh, you guys are taking it so seriously, blah blah blah, and yeah, we kind of are in the way that we're playing, but it's easier to take it seriously when you're at your job, doing your job to the best of your ability, and sitting there gaining 0.7 or 7.75 EHP an hour at the same time. It's like, holy shit, like I'm conquering time and space right now. You feel like you're accomplishing both your real life obligations as well as your in-game obligations, I guess you could say. Although you shouldn't be obligated to play or not play, but I sometimes feel obligated to do this or do that because I'm trying to get as much out of myself. But
well, I also think that breaks, like what you said, like people saying it's inefficient to do Nightmare Zone post whatever XP. Well, I mean, you kind of answer your own question right there. Like you're zero timing it, so how could it be like inefficient if you're doing it in zero time at your work? Like it's almost impossible.
The way
for
I
that to
look
happen.
the way I look at Slayer, I'm 60 mil Slayer XP. 90% of the people that tell me that I'm inefficient the way I do Nightmare Zone are less Slayer XP than I am. Not to sound like an asshole, but that's the way it's been. Anyways, the way I look at it is, if I get all my melee XP, I can then put off Slayer, do it in a more efficient manner down the line. Because if you look at Slayer as a skill itself, it's 200 mil total XP, Slayer itself. You can gain all that melee XP with it, yes, or you could be at work or at school or fucking your girlfriend, whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you're going to be gaining melee XP that you could have gained it with Slayer, but now you're gaining it with your obligations. Then you're able to do other skills when you're actually on the computer. You put off Slayer, it gets faster. You following me here? You never know how fast Slayer's going to get. If somebody tells me, if somebody came to me and told me that Slayer is not going to get faster in the next 3 to 4 years, I'm going to tell them to fuck off. Because there's no way that a skill that was 25k an hour or less when the server started, 4 years later, it's over 100k an hour on average now, if you're doing it correctly. If you have an alt luring, if you're doing the most efficient task list, etc., etc. Well, now imagine 3 years from now. If you tell me that Slayer is not going to be pushing 150k XP an hour, I don't know. I just don't know what to say at that point. I have a very hard time believing that it won't be getting faster. And even if melee is, like you said, there's going to be new weapons, possibly. That could be a possibility with raids too. I don't know. I'm just shooting hypothetical scenarios here. But if there is a better melee weapon, disregard the fact, yeah, you'll be getting more melee XP, but you'll be getting more Slayer XP. And if you're not slaying right now using melee, you're putting it off. You already gained the melee, but you're still going to be using the new weapons and gaining the faster total Slayer XP. You understand? So that's basically in a nutshell my mentality on Slayer. Like, Slayer was my first goal post max, and I regret those 1,000 hours. Like, I hate to say it though. I hate to say that I have regrets on a skill that I spent a long time doing, but I spent about 1,000 hours slaying at about 45k XP an hour. I could have spent 1,000 hours, got double that now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why would I go slay now, gaining 85 to 100k? You know?
Well, the thing is, it's hard to really regret things that you've done because everybody's obviously, if you've been here for a while, you've done skills that have been devalued.
True.
You know,
true
for me, for me, it's been a lot. Yeah, for me, it's been that. It's been fire making with
What's
magic
your
logs,
RC
for example.
XP?
I'm like 61 mil RC with Nats, but what I'm saying is that everybody's done things that have been inefficient, that are now considered inefficient, that maybe were once, you know, the meta,
Yeah.
and you can't really look back on it and like regret, because it is what it is. You did what you had to do in that allotted time.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that I've really never done, like, I guess the biggest thing would be Hunter. I've done like probably 40 mil Hunter back before 3 tick with Black Shins, but I mean, even that wasn't that affected. But besides that, like, just being able to do herb lore or crafting and cooking, just doing those skills delayed so much time to let all the other skills that get devalued in the meantime, so I could do them like a lot faster.
I think
Well
that's another
played.
reason. I think that's another reason why like doing the fast skills first is like the meta. I mean, you see Randy how he did it. You know, he did things 2 GB per XP
Yeah.
that are now like 6, 8, whatever. Doing the fast skills is definitely like the way to go. Seems like.
I don't take somebody seriously unless they're doing the fast skills first. Sorry. That's gonna get the Solus kids really
I
fired
think,
up, but I don't care. Like,
Well, I do
What-
think that the wall is a fallacy for sure, but I do think that
The
there's been
wall.
examples. I do think that there's been examples of guys who have burnt out because they faced, you know, harder skills that are slower. But thing is, yeah, people use that as an example to say, oh, well, there's a wall.
you
Well, I mean,
guys
not really.
You guys are like me in the aspect that you enjoy getting ranks, correct? You enjoy seeing your
Yes.
ranks go up in both EHP and XP. Now, if your rank, for example, MYJ, if you're rank 7 overall, you didn't do any gatherings yet, really, besides Hunter, are you going to be more motivated to do your gathering skills when you're ranked 7 overall, to then have to fight to keep your rank to do the gathering skills one after another at that point, rather than being, you know, rank 500 overall and having to do
Yeah.
all your viables at that point? Like, if you do all your viables first, and whatever, you can do rune for smithing if you have to, you can do battle stats, you can do soul heads. There's a really good 530k an hour prayer method. Maybe we'll talk about that at another point. You, in my opinion, you want to get all the viables done first. At least for me, I like to get as high of a rank as I can and plan on how I'll do the gatherings afterwards, rather than doing them first and then wondering how I'm going to make money. Because I don't want to play alts while I fish. I want to be able to focus and be as efficient as I can. The bulk of the hours spent to 200 mil all is in your gathering skills. Why would I want to have to fucking worry about merching and playing alts at the same time, when I could make all the money, do these sort of, you know, not as efficient methods like rune smithing, like battle staff, so on, as I said. I could do all these methods, get all my viables done, and then I can focus one-to-one on the gathering skills. I don't even have to worry about anything else. Now, a lot of people out there, they play alts while they're doing their gathering skills, and I know, and I don't care what they say, I know that there's times where they sacrifice efficiency to do something on their alt, unless they're good at flipping, which that's great. I know some very high ranked skillers who do a lot of flipping while they do their gathering skills, and I respect that, I really do. But it seems like they're kind of burnt, a lot of them. A lot of the times it seems like they really don't have any direction, they don't have anywhere near the amount of money, and their brains are so morphed into this, if it's not 1-to-1 EHP, it's not worth it mentality, that they're going to be doing mahoganies, they're going to be doing D-bones. There's not enough time in the world for them to merch enough money most of the time. This isn't in most cases, but a lot of the guys who merch while they do their gatherings, they're only making 400 or 500k an hour. You're going to need 10,000, 12,000 hours to make the money to do the things like con with mahoganies, prayer with bones, if you're planning on merching while you're doing your gatherings.
I think certainly doing the gatherings after you've done all the Bibles, you know, not having those Bibles looming on your mind really, really helps out, you know, getting that done and over with. Obviously, it all depends on, like, your personality type. Like, some guys like doing both at once, some guys like mixing up the skills, but for the most part, I agree that, you know, doing the Bibles first and then not worrying whatsoever about money, then going straight into the gatherers is the meta and the way to go. I mean, you see that with high ranks right now.
What
like,
What are the top 10? Most of the top 10 players.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, most of the guys, in fact, everybody pretty much inside the top, whatever, 20 overall, even.
Like,
most of them have done.
Look what happened to the
yeah.
Gathering King. Look at him
yeah,
now.
Most
Where
of them,
is he?
Most of them, like most of the guys up there, the very high ranks, have done the fast skills first, and yeah, I mean, there's been a few that have burnt out, and that's where this wall meme came from. But for the most part, a lot of the guys are still going hard, and they still did the fast skills first, and you know, they're still going hard. So it seems like that's the way to go for sure. I mean, Randy pretty much proved it.
Yeah,
and he's not the only one. There's a lot of guys just like that have been proving that.
Randy is an exact example of what can happen when you apply yourself macro efficiently.
Yeah, I've always viewed Randy's account as like the perfect strategic way to play this game from the beginning.
It is.
Like, yes,
he has probably played less than most other people on top age EHP. Like, for the amount of EHP he has, like, he's just consistency. Not no-lifing, not playing a shitload, just consistently playing macro efficiently, making the money, thinking about all aspects, and just getting really high ranks as a result.
Yet you got guys doing mining and fishing and thinking they're the top of the world because they're doing mining and fishing when they don't even have any fucking money and they don't have any income. Like, there's a lot of guys being cropped and raised right now, I like to call it. They're around 3-4k EHP and they're doing fishing or mining and they're not even making any money. Like, they're basing premise on, oh, well, money's zero time, I'll make it during this, I'll make it during. I don't take you seriously at that point. If you're not gaining XP and making money at the same time, I don't take you seriously. Like, I just got passed by a non-alt user, Ron, which he deserves it. He's a beast. He's very efficient. He's very consistent. He's found a way to, you know, make money as a solo player and still keep gaining EHP, gaining XP. But that's a rare case in my opinion. A lot of these guys who don't play alts, they're going to get to a point where they don't have any money, they don't have any motivation to runecraft, because that's what you're stuck with, either service, which good luck spending what is it, 8,000 hours or something like that, some crazy amount of time.
Yeah, there's a few people runecrafting right now that are in the top 15 EHP. Doing double deaths, for example.
Animals just started with that, actually.
That's what I was referring to. But
that's imagine that, the time that's going to take. I mean,
but
I'm not trying to take shots at anybody right now, but like, I look at things competitively, I look at things strategically. When people aren't playing alts, it's just, they're in their own bracket at that point. They're not competition for somebody with an alt. It's just,
I think it depends how you do it, because I'm pretty sure if Ardino, for example, if Ardino does double deaths, like, he can play 100 hours a week and still get 70 EHP if he has a runner doing double deaths. So
that's
like,
true. I guess if you have
free time. Guys like that can certainly get away with it. There's no question.
I remember before Vestfold burnt, I actually calced it out, and if he were to do this was before deaths, I think, but if he were to do Nats on his main, just one account doing Nats for all of 200 mil RC, he's so far ahead of people like, you know, us, that we would still not even. We'd still be thousands of hours away. Vestfold?
Vestfold, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
but
he
like,
has so
again,
many options.
Yeah, for him though, like, nobody's in his shoes really, like almost nobody. So like for most people, if you're going to be spending all that time rune crafting, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot.
You had to have been here from the beginning. Like Paul got away with it. Paul
plays,
by the way, one of the most dangerous players on the high scores right now.
Yeah.
Going to be gaining. I'm not even going to get into it because he can talk about it at some other point on here, hopefully. But he is a shining example of if you have free time and you're a solo player, you can make shit happen. And you can take back ranks that people that had a head start on you, I guess you could call it, already have. But it's like, you need to have free time. Somebody who makes an account right now, and if they want to be a top page player or they want to be a top 100, top 50, whatever player, that's not everybody's aspiration, but it's more people's aspirations than they let on, because people seem to have this, this smug outlook on like being competitive and like, oh yeah, I play for fun, I don't play for ranks, but then low key they're trying to pass everybody off the grid,
Yeah.
But if you're playing this game, if you're just starting out now and you want to be competitive, if you're listening to this, if you watch this, whatever, play an alt, make an alt, go to fucking, there's death number 2, Wyvern alt number 2 died now, it's playing 3 at once right now, but anyway, if you're hearing this, if you're motivated and you want ranks and you're trying to make games, get an alt started now, like while you're young, I guess you could call it.
Well,
like,
I mean,
you don't have, I'm sorry, but you don't have time to do double nats if you can only play 40, 50, which seems to be the average, is like 40, 50 hours a week. If you want to be a top 50, top 100 player, you're running low on time to do double nats to then do the fast XP. Like, it's at that point now.
Well, yeah, this is what you were talking about, a year ago. This is what made me make an alt, like just saying that yes, the ranks are, what matters, and if you do double nats, then you're gonna get really fucked long term.
Yeah. To play an alt.
Well, yeah, I was on my way to 100 mil RC through nats. I was 61 mil, but then all of a sudden it's like, you convinced me to make an alt, do construction, then, which was really nice, was doing runesmithing, because that gave me the ability to play the alts.
What rank are you on the high scores now? On the official high scores?
7 right now.
Okay, there you go. You're welcome.
But yeah, what I was saying is that, like, that's what made me do it, is, like, just focusing on the ranks. Like, instead of caring about integrity, morals, or whatever, and just, like, integrity in general, I went from that to, after hearing you talk, it went from that to worrying about the ranks at that point, which is definitely what you should be going for. But obviously everybody's different, I guess.
People that preached morals and integrity, most of them aren't even here right now.
That was a big wake-up call for me, too. That was a huge wake-up call for me, because, like, a lot of them, they pretty much are gone.
It's a game. As long as you're not breaking the rules.
Like, I've come to the conclusion that you just have to evolve if you want to go for ranks, and having morals does not equate to gaining ranks. It's the exact opposite, so I had to move on from it.
What about that view? This is a very common view by the irrelevant people out there that talk shit on high-ranked players. Oh, if you're not rank 1, it doesn't matter. What is your opinion on that statement? If you're not rank 1, it doesn't matter.
I remember seeing that comment on Reddit, but yeah, it's the most irrelevant statement I've ever heard, because it comes down to your progress. You got to be making progress on your account. As a byproduct, you pass people on the high scores if you stay consistent.
Yes.
Simple as that.
We'll get into that, the byproduct mentality. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, that's really all I gotta say about that.
I told you about the byproduct mentality, right?
Yep, you just do stuff. You
do your gains. You set your goals, and as a byproduct, you will gain ranks, obviously.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think you have to either be rank 1 at something or you don't matter. Like, that mentality, that's a very defeating mentality to have in life. Like, that's like saying, oh well, if I can't be the best, why bother at all? Like,
it's like saying, why should I work here when I'm not the CEO?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
And it seems to come from people who don't have more than a couple hundred hours put into the game. They sit back, they judge, they talk shit. Like, it's like those people that when you get home from a long day of work, they tell you to go outside. The moment you log in, you're trying to do your tree run, and they're like, get a fucking life, go outside, bro. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's the same.
Wow.
I believe it's jealousy. I would like to think, at least that helps me sleep a little better at night, thinking that it's jealousy when people tell you, like, oh, why are you playing? Like, I get this a lot when I'm skilling. Like, why are you bothering? You're never going to be rank 1. Why are you still playing it? Maybe I enjoy the prospect of top page. I'm about 2.5 weeks off of top page again right now. I enjoy that. I enjoy being a top page player. It holds personal value to me. Yeah, it doesn't matter to anybody. Like I can't go outside and tap some guy on the shoulder and say, hey, check it out, man, I'm ranked 27 in RuneScape. They don't give a shit.
You don't do that?
Nobody cares.
Evan.
Like,
what was that quote you have, Evan? If you're not top 25 or
oh yeah,
that was a funny quote.
yes.
If you're not top 25, irrelevant.
That is a very
That's so funny.
Very elitist statement.
I was saying that before I was even top 25.
I mean, I'm currently ranked 27, so I'm technically not relevant right now. By the time this video gets several views, I'll probably be relevant by then because I'll be top 25. But that mentality is very, very it's very unwell received in the community. Like saying, oh, if you're not top page, you're out. But it's kind of true. If I can't go to the high scores and click, and this can go, if you want to look at it in both ways, top page EHP, that's just as relevant if they plan on getting 200 mil all. If they're a person who's going for 200 mil all, EHP is a great way of tracking your progress in terms of when you're going to get 200 mil all. It's not a guarantee. The high score ranks, that's your rank. That's where you're at in game right now. Anyway, when I look at things competitively, if I can't click high scores and then the first page, and if you're not on that first page, you're not relevant. I'm sorry, like it's a very mean sounding elitist mentality, but it's true. Like a lot of these guys out there, they got 300-400 mil total XP, and they pipe up all the time. They talk shit, they run their mouths on Twitter, this and that, blah blah blah. They try to make a bunch of hype for themselves. You're not relevant. You're just not. When conversations come up between high-level players and HLC, people throw this term around so loosely. The HLC is a top 100. I'm sorry. The HLC is a top 100. Anything out of that, that's not a high level. That's not the high level community. The high level community is the high level community, the up and coming players, the relevant players. The guy who's ranked 4,000 right now, you're not in the HLC. I'm sorry. Anyway, when I'm looking at relevance, when I'm looking at who I have to look out for, I guess you could call it, not that you shouldn't really worry about what's going on around you. You should focus on your gains and let things happen as they're going to happen. But when I'm trying to gauge kind of, okay, who's doing this, who's doing that, top page, top 30 EHP, top 25 overall, however you want to look at it, that's what's relevant. That's what you should be looking at, and you should be tracking their progress, seeing what they're up to. Not the guy who's ranked 430 piping up on Twitter, and no offense to the rank 430, I don't know who the fuck you are, obviously, but it's getting to the point now where people are making an account, they're maxing, they're making a Twitter, oh, I'm in the HLC, I'm gonna talk shit, and I'm gonna get blah blah blah, I'm gonna make videos, and I'm gonna be known, and blah. You're not talked about in any way within the relevant skilling groups, Solus, Hexus, Omnia. You're not noticed. Stop piping up. Like, if you want to be recognized, if you want to be known as a skiller on this game, if you're gonna sit here and play this game and you're gonna go post max, at that point, if you're gaining XP, I don't care what you say, you're competitive. You're playing for ranks at that point. If you have goals for getting skilling pads, blah blah blah, that's arbitrary. That may be your goal, but at the same time, in your head, while you're sitting there at Wintertodd for 12 hours a day, you're looking at your overall rank, you're posting it on Twitter, you're posting it on whatever social platforms.
Well, I think that goes back to what we see with streamers and like Twitter bios and stuff. Like everybody puts rank X overall in the titles.
Thank you.
Like that's what matters. Like, apparently, that's what everybody puts in their titles. So,
like, if it didn't matter, why would they put rank? No offense, I'm not singling. I'm just hypothetically putting out numbers. Rank 13 overall, doing blah blah blah. Why are you putting that in your title if it's not something that you value? You know what I mean? If it's not anybody top page, I don't care who they are, if they're actively playing, if they're actively top page, at that point they're going for ranks. Anybody in the top 100, if they're playing actively, if they're gaining XP, they're going for ranks. That's the HLC, that's the high level community. These pipe up people out there that have max and talk shit, like I said, they judge everybody, they post random things, they You see it all the time. It's very toxic out there. It's a big reason why I stay off of Twitter, and I try to keep to myself and my little group in Omnia, which let's talk a little more about Omnia, boys. What do you say? We'll try to break away from the elitism right now and move on to a more lighter note. What about Omnia, boys? How do you guys enjoy being in the highest skilling clan in terms of EHP overall, XP, hours weekly, daily, monthly? How do you feel being a part of that?
Well, I just view it as like the modern clan. Like we have everybody who needs to be here, really. Like it's the best in like it ranks XP like overall and like
but we
on
didn't
average.
Win the cup. We're not the cup
Yeah,
winners.
Like on average, like we have the best categories in like almost everything, and we have like the best up and comers. It seems like as well. So it's just the modern clan. It seems like
it's the future of skilling.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm gonna
join.
say there's a lot of up and comers for sure that are gonna be really good in the future, who are in this clan.
Yeah, Omnia was
a lot of guys.
Omnia was one of the best things that happened to me this year. I would say, like when I first found out about this clan, it was. I remember I used to, because it was referred to me as Vior's clan. That's what I heard of it as. Like I didn't know who was in it or what was going on.
I
just
told you that.
Yeah, you told me Vior's clan. I'm like, no, I'm not really interested. And then the clan opened up, was growing very, very quick, and I was just sitting in here as a smiley for like 3 days straight, never left. I actually
you said if I'd join, you'd join.
Oh yeah. And I actually left a couple times. I went back to Solus CC, said hi, nobody responded. I'm like, all right, well, fuck this. I head back to Omnia. It was just a great place to be.
So what clans were you guys in? I know you just said Solus, but NYJ, what clan were you in when you hopped ship?
Yeah, I was in Nexus for like over a year.
Right.
Yeah, I was before Solus. I was in. They're not around anymore. It was called Relentless, though. I think you were in that clan, Dave, right?
I ran that bitch.
Yeah. I don't think I ever like met you or ever saw you, but
into the ground.
Yeah. But I remember back then the clan disbanded, and Clutchy, who was like, I think it was a Gen, he joined Solus, and I was like, holy shit.
We merged.
Oh yeah, you merged, yeah. But I was never like informed of that just because I was just some fucking noob, and
right.
I eventually all right, well, I don't meet the EHP requirements to join Solus, but let me see if I could, maybe squeeze by as a smiley, even though I don't have the requirements. And I was putting in like 40, 50 EHP weeks at the time, I think. And I was surprised that they actually accepted me. I'm like, holy shit. And I felt like I was in like this really like high level clan, which I was in. And I remember one of my first memories of Solus was I forget what skill I was training, but I remember AJ typed in the CC, he's like, he said something about him finishing like a fire making 6 hour, and he got like the rank 1 record, and he was having a snack or something, and I'm like, holy shit, this dude's a beast. That was my first ever impression of AJ. I'm like, he just casually does like rank 1 6 hour. Like, what the fuck?
AJ is a legend among men.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in this game, I think.
He's a true master of obligation. He's married with a young daughter, I believe, and
he's doing very, very hard.
He still puts in 75, 80 EHP a week.
I would love to see a day in the life of AJ. Like, just see like what he does, how much he sleeps, just everything. It'd be so cool.
I don't think we would feel less of men after watching that, so I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready to see that just yet. It might make me feel like shit about.
Oh yeah, I would be like,
6 hours a night.
I would just think to myself, I'm a fucking loser, dude.
No, I feel like the way I look at the three big clans, I'm not really relevant in the community, the outer of the community, because I don't really bother to be part of it. Like, you got Hexus, you got, they were built around like Twitter hype and all this other bullshit. Solus was built around like micro efficient gathering skills, EHP, blah blah blah. But then you got Omnia now, which is like the best of the best. Everybody.
It was the combination of everything, yeah.
And it's like you finally can be around other players who take the game seriously. They play for ranks, and you don't have to feel like this odd man out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the past in other clans I was in, like I would be getting competitive and people would they would put me on ice. They're like yeah, taking a little seriously, blah blah blah. But here it's like, if you don't take it seriously, you're kind of the outcast at that point in a way. Like, no offense to people who don't have a lot of free time, but if you're burnt and you're not really playing, you're not really relevant in the clan. The people that are relevant in the clan are the ones that are putting in the progress. Like, that's what matters in Omnia, from what I've gathered. And I was in the clan for 4 months. I quit for 3 months. Became back for a little over 2 months now. But it's the same thing. It's just people motivated, making games. And if you're putting in games, you're respected and you're given respect. That's how you gain respect. You don't have to be this cool guy on Twitter, on the internet, trying to be a famous person. You can be making games and you get your respect from your clan mates. Not that matters. You should play this game. I would play the game if I wasn't in Omnia, but I like to play the game being in Omnia. You know what I mean? I don't play for the clan, but being in the clan, it's just an added bonus, really. It's like being on a sports team on
Yeah, it's a motivator. Yeah.
It's definitely a motivator. It's that little common nudge, I guess you could say. Like, when I had some off time, it was nice to me, you, and Paul were like top 5 weekly for a couple weeks there. It was like kind of cool.
Top 3.
Cool. It's great to see our guys top of the game. Hours played weekly, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. We're dominating, and it's only going to get better. Like, no offense, but Hexus isn't going to have a great big turnaround anytime soon. They're gonna remain what they are. They're gonna gain people here and there, but the players that they may gain will be kind of more into that hype scene, Twitter games, blah blah blah, all the bullshit. That's great. Not that if that's what you're into. If you sit down, log in, play this game to be this popular guy on the internet, then that's great. If you sit down, play this game to log in and make as much progress as you can, and be around other people that are making progress, then that's why Omnia exists now. It's for the super nerds, basically. Is basically what I'm putting it as.
Yeah, I love when I check the current top. It's always just, it's not what player is on like current top right now. It's which Omnia player is on current top.
How many of the Omnia players are
yeah.
Like, let me pull this up here real quick.
Yeah, it's changed.
Now we're just.
It's actually insane to think.
Okay, we got Riftcraft, number 1 day, week. We got Paul, number 1.
Really? He's playing a lot.
Oh yeah, he's.
Oh boy.
I don't want to say what he's doing right now in case it doesn't work out, but the people who are watching this will know who Riftcraft is if it's successful after this video is out. But we'll talk about that at another time. So yeah, let's go to the year. Day, week, month is irrelevant. We got number 1 year right now, Shop. Number 2, Brought No Life. Number 3, Karma. Number 4, NYJ. Number 5, Borzy. So we got all our guys. We got Braun. Braun is a beast. He's gonna be grabbing number 1 year, which shout out to Hexus for that one. You guys truly have a hell of a player on your hands over there, and he's a solo player, which really is really kind of depressing to me. It shows me how shit I am that he's passed me again, and doesn't even play an alt. But anyway, when you look at the current top, when you look at the hours played, you got our guys. Ardino number 1, Aziz 2, Tormentor 3, 4 Karma, 5 Zunko, 6 Delete. It's like it's all our guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's how could you not be motivated to sit down, log in, and play? But anyway, that's enough flexing for one night. Let's ramble back on into some more progressive conversation here now. What are you guys hoping to do in the new year coming? Do you guys have any long-term goals in mind?
Yeah, one like kind of mindset I've kind of been adapting to really ever since I started RC was like I've started to kind of love like base XP, like going for like XP and a bunch of different skills, because I've always loved skill hopping. And
nice.
Like one thing I'm thinking about with fishing is possibly going for like 50 mil, go for 50 mil fish, and like I still want that prayer rank, so if like I'll stop if needed to, and I want to finish up prayer like after that or something like that, and then maybe try out a different skill after that. Like just hop around as much as I want.
One of our guys, Scott Wilson, is nearing still a couple months off, for weeks or months or so. He's nearing the 50 mil total base XP. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it looks so nice in the high scores
Big
too.
shout out to him if you watch this.
Yeah. I like Sen's. Like Sen's account is like one of the coolest accounts on the high scores. He just has XP and everything.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
But yeah, my plan for the new year is pretty much I want to be wrapping up a lot of skills. I haven't gotten a 200 mil since March, so it's been quite a while. I'd like to wrap up Slayer for sure. And basically I'm going to be finishing up a lot of the total XP, like a lot of the DMP skills.
Right.
And by that point, maybe I'll move into Agi. I'm not too sure.
Make some money.
But yeah. But yes, I'm definitely going to be finishing up a lot of the DMP skills, wrapping up a lot of 200 mils. I want to get like 16 200 mils by the end of the year, by the end of 2018. So
TMP.
yeah, I'm looking to finish pretty much the melees, Slayer, Prayer, you know, the usual. And by that point, it's actually interesting. Like I have like the opposite effect of the wall. Like my mentality is the complete opposite of the wall. Like the way I view it is that if you get to that point where you have like 200 mils, like at that point I feel like it's almost impossible to burn out, because like at that point you only have 3 skills left and most of those are AFKable. I'm lucky enough to already be like 60 mil RC, so once I get 100 mil, I like lavas, I've done it quite here and there. So I feel like I'll get 100 mil and then be motivated to finish 200 mil. But for the most part, like I've pretty much foolproofed myself into getting it, because once you got 200 mils, you only have the gatherers left, and if I really don't like them, if I really don't like them, I can just AFK them to 200 mil all. So it's pretty much a foolproof way to get 200 mil all. Just make your bed, lie in it, and get those 200 mils, and then finish it off with the gatherers.
The elitists will argue that that's a short-term mentality because, well, you're not doing the gatherings first. You're not going to get them ever. Blah 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 blah.
Well, as I said, like I'm not talking about doing it efficiently. I'm just talking about actually getting 200 mil all. And this is something that Evan made a video about. Talking about getting 200 mil all, not really talking about the ranks per se, but like just getting in that position where you feel like you can finish it. And for me, I feel like if I get these, you know, whatever, how many 200 mils by 2018, 2019, like by that point I can see myself at worst AFKing the gatherers.
Yeah.
And maybe not get the highest rank, but it'll be good because it'll be like a foolproof to burning out. Like I can just AFK and get it at that point.
Yeah, I love that you can
but
AFK.
I do plan on 3-ticking though. I'm gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, I try to 3-tick as much as I can, but I really don't.
Yeah.
I definitely don't stress over it, because like AFKing is really not
exactly.
chill at times. One of the reasons I kind of don't like mining is there is no option to just chill back for 5 minutes in AFK. You have to constantly be clicking to gain XP.
I mean, you could do that.
But the thing is, there's volcanic mine now. Like there's a lot of updates where you can just AFK it. Like I can see Motherload mine on the phone being possible as well. But I hear people can do like volcanic mine on the phone as well. So there's definitely options out there. And yeah, mobile is another option, as we said before. Like mobile is going to be huge for the gatherers, in my opinion. Like I do think that woodcutting will be the next nightmare zone with redwoods. So
I think we're going to get...
certainly going to be an interesting year in 2018. There will be a lot of meta changes in 2018.
Yeah, I think we're going to get like a redwood method for almost every skill, to be honest. I could really see it happening.
There's a very good chance, yes.
And yeah, because nobody, like, I'm not going to say nobody, but in the elitist mind of the high-level skiller, their mindset is that, oh, you know, everybody wants to do this because it's efficient. There are tens of thousands of people who will never even mutter the word efficiency in the entire time that they play this game. Okay?
Yeah.
It's never something that they think of. This game, and its large community of this game, are skillers and people who, players in general, who don't want to do skilling. They don't want to train efficiently. They want to AFK redwoods to 99 woodcutting. Yep. They want to AFK fishing. I know this is something that is never touched upon. It's black and white with people. It's either you either look at the people who play things 100% efficiently, or you don't think about them at all, which I respect that. That's a very competitive mentality. I like that. But you have to remember that the majority of this game are people who you know, not to touch upon it, but they'll sit down, smoke a joint, and they want to woodcut AFK. That's it. They don't care. They, you know, it's not a race for everybody. There's people that simply play the game to kill time. They want to do things as easy as possible. They want to do a winter Todd for fire making. They want to do a hypothetical incoming herblore, for example, method or something down the line, maybe where you got to put a bunch of herbs into a cauldron and it turns into XP. I don't fucking know. But something like that, 200k herblore an hour, blah blah blah. That's something that they would enjoy. Mining, something like MLM, they love it. The list goes on, and it's only going to get easier. This game, you know, the people that cling to this, oh, the old school feel, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad that I clap everybody give a round of applause to those guys. You know, but
the old school feel is not relevant because you lose ranks. You lose ranks if you try to be like that. Like, I mean, I was there. I lost ranks.
Like, it's
adorable.
You
just can't do it if you want to go for ranks. You just cannot do it anymore.
Yeah, yet they get pissed. People get pissed when an update comes out that makes something easier. Yeah. They get pissed because they feel that they've been devalued. If your achievement, whatever achievement that is, if it's not something that you value in the way that you did it, doesn't matter how fast you did it, doesn't matter what method you did it. If you don't value it, then it doesn't matter in the first place. These people that sit there saying, oh, it's getting devalued, my achievements are being devalued. Do you feel that you've been devalued? Do you know what you did to train that method? Okay, if you do, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If they think you did fucking MLM for 200 mil mining or blah blah blah, everybody who's relevant knows that who Acid Soul is and what he did with mining, so obviously he gets the respect. But some random who sees him as rank 1 mining, he's gonna obviously assume, oh, he must have done MLM, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter in the first place. It doesn't matter. And it's only, the game is only gonna, this is gonna be hated by a lot of people, but the game is only gonna get easier as time goes on. It's only gonna get faster. I'm hoping it doesn't become microtransactions. Everybody said that wouldn't be a thing, you know, blah blah blah. But you can buy bonds by the dozens if you need to. I'm a very good example of that. I'll talk about that. But things are only gonna change in the way of the crowd. The people, the 100,000, so hypothetical number, the 100,000 players who want to have a good time, sit down, log in, and get their 99s, versus the 1,000 elitists, you know, whatever mentality skillers. Who's gonna win that argument?
Yeah, like how almost everybody I think gets into this game is, including me. You AFK everything. You know, you go to woodcut, you just sit there, you click on the tree until it falls down. You know, you just.
But that's not respectable.
That's how everybody gets introduced to this game, is you AFK.
Respectable.
And if you play this game, you have to come to terms with the fact that it will get devalued. Updates will happen. It's not a bad thing. The game needs to make money. Jagex needs to make money. It just is what it is. That's just part of the game. And, you know, you have to have the game to be here and to be running rather than have there be no game at all. So I don't really mind there being updates.
Think of all the new players we're about to get from mobile. Like, they're all going to want AFK. And on top of that, they're playing on the phone. You know?
And once again, think of the demand. Like, you know, they say, oh, well, you know, there's not going to be any updates for mobile. But, you know, once they see that revenue going up, they might think differently. So, I mean, they're going to speak to where their money is. Yep. And I do think that there will be updates, regardless of what they say, with mobile. And it's going to be successful for the game.
They're not going to give a shit about who has what 200 mil and what this and that. Like I said, there's people that will play their game. They'll play the game as long as we'll play it. Like, hypothetically, if we play the next 4 years, there will be, you know, Billy from Arkansas will play this game for the next 4 years, just as much as we do. But he'll be a PK or a PVMer. He'll do random things. Ooh, a new mining update. Cool. I can get 80 mining finally. Great. He doesn't give a shit about efficiency. He doesn't give. The elitist mentality, these high-level skillers, they just think that they're the only ones that matter. They're the only ones on the game. They're the loudest voices. They're on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. And yes, they are very influential to the mods. But the numbers, the amount of people that want these updates are the ones that will change this game. You either adapt or you fade away. You either adapt to what's changing, or you fade into irrelevance, just like all the people out there that will use these new methods and these guys that sit at the bank and cut logs and stuff like that, and the ones who AFK their U logs, and they don't care if it takes them 6 months to get 99 wood cutting. They don't care. They want more. They want faster. They want updates. The whole old school feel mentality was gone the moment you couldn't just use a black mask or Slayer. You know what I mean?
Well, I can speak for this because I was once, I was once one of those guys, and you just have to realize that, at the end of the day, you cannot be selfish. Like, you're only one person playing the game. Jagex looks, once again, they look at thousands and thousands of people to play in order to stay in business. That's just how they view it. So it's very important to realize that, and they're gonna go where the majority speak for, and
as they
the old
should.
school, the old school, yes, and the old school feel dies away from that, and you just have to realize that.
If you're a person sitting there listening to this, playing right now, doing whatever skill you're doing, expect that it will probably be different years from now. And if you're not, if you're angry by that, log out right now, because it's only gonna get easier. It's a game. If you're playing competitively, adapt or shut up. There's no sense being a little crybaby about things like, oh, it's getting easier, blah blah blah. It's not respectable. It's a fucking, you're playing RuneScape, dude. Like, nothing about what we're doing on here will ever get us a pat on the back from our coworkers or anybody that's relevant in our lives. You're playing a game. If you want to be competitive, take advantage of everything within legality. Don't go out there sharing. Don't go out there sharing your account like a lot of people do. No, I'm just kidding. Don't go out there botting. Don't go out there buying money illegally. This and that. That stuff is obviously immoral. That, like, morals for me, my morals are whatever is legal. I do whatever is within legality. I don't respect anybody more than anybody else for doing a method that's harder than the other method. I don't value, like, I'll respect the person who does 200 mil mining, however they did 200 mil mining. If they completed a goal that they had in a way that they wanted to do it, then I respect it. But you get these guys that are like, mining is getting devalued, or, blah 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 blah. It's like, just stop crying, get over it. One of the biggest crybabies, sorry to fire shots, whatever, but one of the biggest crybabies over updates was guys like Aubrey. All that hype he rose, all this blah 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 talk. He got a job and he quit. Where is he now? You know what I mean? It's like when you look at his CML, when you look at his high scores, you see rank 3 in mining. Doesn't matter how he did it now. He's not even fucking playing anymore. Is anybody gonna give a shit now? No. It's the moment you log out, you're irrelevant. That's it. So, however you gotta get through your goals, whether you gotta go to MLM for fucking 3K hour, 10K hour, whatever the hell, or you gotta go to the Granite, great. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Don't worry about what your peers or what people. I know this is gonna be a wake-up call for a lot of people. Imagine this. Imagine not giving a shit about what anybody thinks about how you play the game, but remember that everything you're doing could potentially change at some point. So don't sit there holding too much value.
And I learned that lesson with skills like fire making, of all things. Like, that's one skill I thought would never change, but look what happened. I got really hurt from that, because I did fire making at 5 GB per XP with magic logs, and look what happened. So
magic
I mean, after that,
why wouldn't you do redwoods, bro? Oh wait.
Yeah. So after that point, it was like, oh man, any skill can get devalued. So it is what it is.
But are you sitting there angry, or at the fact that you're ranked 9 in fire making? You got it done. I got it done. But the thing is, you have to look at it. You have to look at it as like, well, I can't predict the future, so I just did what I did at the time, and whatever happens, happens. Like, that's all you can do in this game. I guess this falls back to me saying earlier that I regret the way I slayed, and I've been thinking about it more. Like, I kind of just regret that I didn't get to barrage more. You know what I mean? I love barrage tasks.
Yep. Well, you still got a lot of Slayer to go, so it's going to be possible for you.
Yeah, there's going to be some fun. When I slay, you'll be able to pick your task list. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
That's what I mean. Like, there's so many things that could happen. Like, just one little update. Like, there can be, for example, there could be a diary. There could be you know, a new taskmaster. Like, who knows? Anything can change it dramatically. Like, you look at the bracelets. That was a very small update, and look what happened with that. So
Yeah, you
I
really
mean,
opened my eyes.
Who knows?
You really opened my eyes with Zaya Diaries like that. Like,
It's
imagine
gonna
just
happen. Zaya Diaries will happen.
That
'Cause-
could. Why wouldn't it? It's an entire.
it's a huge
What
part.
would you call it?
Catacombs.
No,
Yeah,
like, what
yeah,
would
it's
you call
continent,
it?
yeah.
It's gonna be huge. Yeah, it's for the whole place. Yeah, it's
Imagine
gonna be
that.
huge.
Imagine this.
Honestly, I don't think it's been talked about. I mean,
Imagine
this could
a
be an
reward.
idea. This
Tell
could be
you
an
to the
idea.
catacombs.
Yeah, but this can be an idea someone can send to, like, the J mods. Like, I don't even think they have this on the radar, but it's certainly something that needs to be
Like,
looked into.
Something as simple as a teleport to the catacombs
Oh
could
boy.
change things a bit. Something as simple as
Well, it's not that. It's
10%
like the bonus.
XP boosted. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the
I-
bonuses. Like,
yeah.
maybe an additional cannon into the catacombs. Like, who knows?
Oh,
shit.
imagine that elite requirement. You can now
Yeah,
bring a
anything's
cannon.
possible. There is. It's
Oh my
unlimited.
God.
Yeah, like
Imagine cannoning neck reels with barrage.
Oh my god, that's what I mean.
How's it feel to get fucking 200k Slayer XP an hour?
My god.
like
Oh wait, I just gained 400 EHP because I did my melee 0 time. You see how? Nah, this is the hypothetical talk right now. This is
Well, yeah.
This is stuff that could happen, might happen, but you have to assume. If somebody told me, like I'm glad you brought this up, like Zaya Diaries, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't.
Yep.
Fossil Island Diaries, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Like, but the thing that those are the things that could change, that could, you know, be put into the game a year and a half from now. Before we, like, they'll get pulled obviously, but do you think that here again goes back to the angry, non-changing types of people? Do you think that their 50 voices is gonna trump the 100,000 people who hypothetically that want these new updates? It's not gonna happen. They're gonna get what they want. They're gonna get the new exciting diaries. These lure heads out there who live for the diaries and all this shit, they're gonna vote yes on 20 accounts. You're screwed. All these people, you're devaluing the game. Shut up. It's fun. It's a game. Everybody's having a good time. If the majority rules, it's a voting system. Sorry, salty
It's
kid.
a company.
Your vote doesn't matter if you say no to something that 100,000 people say yes to. Sorry, go cry in the corner with your other buddies and get pissed off by it.
yeah, I think of like Canvas Diaries, just like the Abbey Demon thing. I think it's like plus 10% or something like that. Just XP, just straight up.
Yep.
I kind of doubt they do that, especially for all the tasks, but like something along those lines, I could definitely see occurring.
But it could be. It could
Yeah.
be a ring
One
you
little
throw
oversight.
on
Yeah.
or something.
Yep.
I mean, I know the argument would be, well, they already made a full gear set for the diaries, but what about the possibility of it? There's always the possibility of something. I'm not gonna write off anything that could or may happen. I can't. I've seen things change too much to sit here and say that, oh, everything is the way it'll be, blah blah blah. Anything can happen. Anything could change. I think I'm looking forward to seeing the changes that happen to this game. I don't want things to stay the same, not even just as a competitor. I see things as a person who loves the game, and I hope that they make updates that will make more people enjoy the game, because then we have more of an audience, more of a group of people to, you know, for our video makers out there to entertain, for the streamers out there to entertain. You know, the more updates they do, the more content they bring out, the more people are going to come to the game or come back to the game, and it's exciting, very exciting. So what do you guys want to touch base on, or should we save things for another one of these if it's recepted well in the community? I think we covered a couple topics. I don't want to get too far into this. We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Any like final thoughts at all on anything?
Make gains and stop caring about what other people think about you as a player, because it doesn't matter. They're not going to play your account for you, and a lot of times they burn out anyway.
Yeah, just make progress, whether it's efficient or not. Just always be making progress, always be motivated, stay consistent.
I would say play as much as you can and be consistent.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. for this time, we'll be back.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not over.
So you guys, if you did enjoy the ramble thus far, definitely leave a comment below. You could.
Apply for Omnia if you have the requirements.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're gonna want to
Yep.
be here.
Maybe you'll be on one of these one day.
Oh yeah.
Hell, if anybody wants, you could even request to see what kind of people you'd like to see on here in the future.
And also the mainstayers, probably myself, NYJ, and Evan, will probably be the three of us with guests. We also want to have Mr. Paul No Life as a regular. He was busy this evening. Well, it's daytime for him, but he's another person we'd like to have on here. But we want your feedback as people who are trying to bring content to you from a skilling clan and not making it all about one person. We're trying to make it about the clan and, you know, just camaraderie between clanmates. So
Yep.
if you guys have any suggestions, let Evan know, let us know what you want to see, and we'll be here to listen.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about this clan is that like you see activity from everybody. You know, you got the generals, the silver stars, you know, lieutenants, smileys, recruits. Everybody's active. You know, we've got people everywhere that would love to be on and stuff like that. But
NYJ, you have anything else to say, bud?
I was gonna say that we have what 120 members now. It's a lot, and yes, all of us are pretty much active and we're ready to go. So
Highest overall XP, highest.
So keep on going, and yeah.
Flexing again, sorry.
all
No, not sorry.
right,
Peace.
all right, see you guys
Big
later.
gains.
See ya.